A bouncy ball? I know, it sounds totally crazy, but there are so many things that you can do with this tiny childhood toy that are gonna make your body and your feet feel super yummy and happy, especially after the demands of a hard workout, a long run, or just life, right? Hey guys, I'm Summer, and I'm super stoked to bring you this video today that's gonna give you some tips and tricks for using that bouncy ball to relieve the tension in your feet after a hard workout. So grab a bouncy ball, maybe a mat if you want it, and let's move. Bouncy balls come in lots of different sizes. You've got kind of a bigger one or a smaller one. Whatever it is that you have available to you, just grab it. It's not gonna make a massive impact for what we're gonna do in this video, but know that there are different things that you can do with different size bouncy balls. We're gonna start standing. Before we do any work with the bouncy ball, let's just establish how our feet feel in general, right? So let's start with our feet right under our hips and just stand tall for a moment. Notice how your feet naturally relax into the floor. Do they have a tendency to roll in? Do they roll out? Do you have a hard time getting all 10 toes to be straight forward? Who knows? All of our bodies are shaped and designed differently, so you just kind of notice where you're at. You're gonna take all 10 toes, and I want you to lift them off the floor right here. Find spread in between them, and then lower them back down. Let's do that again. Lift all 10 toes, feel spread, and just notice, look at them, and down. Let's do it 2 more times. Lift and spread your toes, and down. Notice each time you get that little spread, do you feel some tension release in your foot when you go, relax on down? I hope so. Let's lift your right heel off the floor, and then your left, and your right. Right now, what I'm trying to do is just build some blood flow into your feet. One of the things that we don't realize when we wear shoes all day, and we sit and we just kind of the demands of life, we don't get a lot of movement into our feet. Yet our feet have the most muscles in any compact area than your entire body. So it's super important to get them to move. I like to look down at my feet sometimes and just notice, how high of an arch can I get? How much can I lift my foot? Maybe you start to feel breath. Let's hold this next one up. And you're gonna slide across your foot. So this area of your foot, this bottom part, it's called your foot pad or your landing pad. And I want you to slide across it right there. I feel my toes going crack, 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 crack. You might as well. This also gets movement into your ankles, which is just a nice extra bonus. Something you guys should know about me, if this is your first time ever hanging out with me, this foot that you see lifted right now, it's my left foot, has a pin and 3 cadaver ligaments in it. I've had 2 ankle reconstructive surgeries. So sometimes some of these things that I'm gonna demo today might look a little weird on my left foot. That's just because of the anatomy of my body at this point in time. All right, let's lift all 10 toes again. Spread them wide, and now try to tap just your big toe. Just your big toe. When I do this, for some reason my hand wants to do it too. It's like assisting my foot. Now, just your pinky baby toe. Just your baby toe. I know. It's gonna work the muscles of your feet in a way that is so unusual if you're not used to doing this. Let's do 2 more. Now, keep all 10 toes lifted for me, okay? All 10 toes. Look down at your feet because It just makes this easier. Now try to put your big toe down, and then your second toe, your third toe, your fourth toe, your fifth toe. And then do that reverse. So big toe, second, third, fourth, fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like you're trying to play the piano. And if you're anything like me, your middle toes kind of be like, I'm going to move together. It just takes the practice of this. Now let's lift all 10 toes. Big toe and little toe. So the middle 3 toes are lifted. Feel that? Yeah. All right, release. Let's shake that out. Just get any movement into your ankle, into your foot. I know that was super weird and super uncomfortable, but that is such a great way to just get started bringing some warmth into our feet. So the stuff that we do at the Bouncy Ball, we're going to go a little bit deeper, okay? Grab your Bouncy Ball. We're going to do this standing for the moment. Bring it under one foot, okay? And you're just going to roll. Let's start on the inside of your foot. So rolling up and down, kind of in the middle of your foot, from your big toe down to your heel. Speed doesn't really matter right now, so you do this in a way that feels good to you. Just kind of move around your foot now. If you want to make circles with the Bouncy Ball, you can. And right now, I just want you to keep moving. Keep finding different areas. We're going to trigger in on some places that might feel tighter in a moment, but not right now. So don't do that yet. Oh, I just found a really tight place in my arch. Now, go to your heel. And one of the things that I really like to do for my heel is my toes stay on the ground. And then I just kind of move my foot back and forth. I'm making this kind of rotation. And that will get deep into your heel. If any of you have ever had plantar fasciitis, and if you're a runner in your life, you will probably experience plantar fasciitis at some point. I'm going to continue that in a second. But find a place in your arch that's tender, and you're just going to stand here, okay? Push down. What is plantar fasciitis? Well, it's inflammation-itis in the plantar and the fascia, or the fascia in the plantar side of your foot. So plantar is the bottom of your foot. Fascia is what lines the bottom, and it's inflammation. Let's make presses again. So when you get inflammation in that area, it's oftentimes caused by lots of pounding activity done over and over and over again, with potentially shoes that aren't great, or just not stretching our feet enough, okay? Let's switch to the other foot. You might feel a little bit of blood flow into that foot. Maybe you want to circle your ankle for a moment, do whatever. Let's find your other foot. All right, so you're gonna start off big toe down to ankle, or excuse me, down to heel, just rolling back and forth. And if you've ever, again, had plantar fasciitis, when I was running a lot, I got it, unfortunately. I still remember it to this day. I was training for a marathon, and I was also teaching a lot of high-impact fitness classes. I was doing step, I was doing kickboxing, I was doing a lot of jumping type things, and oh my gosh, I woke up one morning and just that pain into my heel, and I was like, oh, what is going on? I went to the doctor, and they're like, oh yeah, you definitely have plantar fasciitis. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And they did the suggestion of rolling my foot out with a water bottle, a frozen water bottle. And it really did make such a difference. And then what I started to do after that was just stuff like this. I started to roll my foot more often. Let's make circles throughout your entire foot. So you're kind of going from your toes into the middle of your foot. And you don't think about it, but something like this entire thing that we're gonna do today is gonna take 10, 15 minutes, right? If you take those 10, 15 minutes after a run, before a run, when you're sitting on the couch watching TV, like I'll do this sitting, my dog will be trying to get the ball from under my foot. Now he's figured it out, but right? Like it doesn't need to be this long drawn out thing. Let's go onto your heel. And you don't necessarily need to find a special time to do it. Like, just do it at a time when you've got some moments. Like, I've done it while, this sounds insane, but again, because I get so tight in my feet, I've done it while cooking, right? I'm standing at the stove, I'm just kind of doing something, I'll grab a ball, and here I am. I've done it while eating dinner. Like, again, you just find a way that it feels good and fits into your life schedule. Notice one foot versus the other. Don't judge them, just notice. One might be a little bit more tight, one might be a little bit more mobile. Who knows? We all have different feet, right? All right, let's roll around one more time. And then just release. So what you want to do is you spend a couple minutes on each foot. You kind of did that how we did. We rolled from big toe to heel, then we made some big circles throughout the full foot, and then we went into the heel and directly targeted. Now what we're gonna do is get a little bit deeper, a little bit more intense. So I want you to find a place in your arch, and you're just gonna stand on that place, okay? It might be directly on your arch, it might be more in the middle, okay? It's where you feel the tenderness. And then you're just kind of bend and stand. So you get just a little bit of a bend and a little bit of a stand. You could do it by lifting up. Like, hopefully what you're starting to see is there's no like perfect way to do it. A lot of this is just getting into the fascia, getting into those deep muscles in a way that your body needs it. All right, release that. When you're doing something like that deep trigger, about 30 seconds. Okay, let's do the other foot. Now this is my foot that is my special foot, and so it's really hard for me to be in this position. So you might find that same thing, right? So you're getting that little bend down and up. Oh my goodness, this is so tight on me today. As often as I do this, it still gets tight. And that's the thing with our body, guys. Like, we have to continuously do stuff like this. We can't just do it once and be like, peace out, I'm good, I'm done, I'm never gonna get injured. No, it's a regular practice. Let's release. Now, if you have a smaller bouncy ball, this would be the moment to grab it. If you just have that same one that you've been using, absolutely nothing wrong with that. You are gonna take the bouncy ball and it's gonna go into the toe area. So that landing pad, that toe groove right here is where you're gonna just roll the ball back and forth, okay? If you have a smaller one, you're gonna notice it's gonna start to try to go in between those toes. That's awesome. That's what we want. Again, your speed doesn't have to be fast. Maybe you wanna do it with your heel lifted. All I want you to do is find a way to move that. Now, take it right in between your big toe and your second toe. And you're gonna try to curl your toes under and pick up that bouncy ball. I know, totally weird. Put it down. Go in between second and third toe. Grab, and try to pick it up. And release. Next two, grab. And release. Let's go between the last two. So it's all about you're just trying to get it in between that space and then lift it up. Release. Stretch that out. All right, let's do that on the other foot. So your smaller bouncy ball, if you have it, and you're just gonna slide up and down the toe mound. Are you feeling this into those toes in a different way on this foot? I think one of the most important things is just to acknowledge the difference in the two different sides of our body, right? I always say it, we all have different bodies, and even within our own bodies, we have different sides that feel totally different. Like, don't judge it, just acknowledge it. Breathe. That's an important part of this, actually. If you find yourself holding your breath a lot to do movement like this, you're actually decreasing the benefit behind it, because we want to keep oxygen. We want to keep blood flow to the area. So breathe. All right, let's go. Big toe, or big toe, second toe. Try to pick it up. And keep moving down your foot. These are monkey toes. In yoga, we really think about monkey toes and that spread. It's also strengthening the tops of our feet, which is important if we are running, doing high impact activities, things like that. Really stretch it out. Okay, before we sit down, I want you to do one thing. You're gonna stand with your feet under your hips, lift all 10 toes again. Exact same thing we did at the very beginning. Now get the spread in between. Let's try to put your big toe down, your second toe, your third toe, fourth, fifth. Same thing, lift back up. Just notice, are they moving any better than at the very beginning? Hopefully, even if it's just a fractional inch. Let's go big toe, little toe. And release, good job, shake that out. Last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna come to a seated position, and I want you to take the ball, let's take it under your calf, okay? So this one you will, if you have a bigger one, it's nicer, but we're going this lower part of your calf right here. It's called the soleus. This is your gastrocnemius, your soleus. If you want to geek out a little on science, there you go. And you're gonna roll right here. And maybe you go side to side, maybe you go up and down again. See what feels good for you. When we think about our feet and how important it is for our feet to feel yummy and happy after an activity, our calves make a huge impact in that, in a way that we don't even realize, right? You might not realize how tight the tendons behind your calf or behind your foot and ankle become, which limit range of motion, which makes moves like this hard. So now find a place kind of right in the middle, and you're gonna flex your foot, so pull your toes towards you, and then point your toes, point them away. Do that again. When I was a dancer, so you've heard me, I was a runner, then I was a dancer. No, I was actually a dancer first. I danced my entire life. But anyway, this was a really important move, like this ability to flex and point the foot and keeping length behind your calf. So if you find that the ability to point your toe is really hard, it gives you some feedback. Maybe you're really tight into your calf. Maybe you're really tight into these tendons that we're gonna get into in a moment. Let's switch legs, okay? Now, if you're like, whew, that didn't feel real great, you might want to just take a moment and like, it just gets blood flow back in, right? All right, so find same kind of ish space on your other leg. You're gonna roll side to side, forward and back, again, what feels good to you. It was interesting one time years ago, again, I was running a lot, and I went to a massage therapist just to get a massage, and they found a spot in my calf. Had no idea how tight I was in that. They pushed into it, and next thing I know, I'm like in tears crying because it was so tight. But the good news was that as awful as it felt during that moment, I went out for a run later that day, and oh my gosh, my form was so much better. I was just able to run more free, and it was great. All right, find that space on your ankle, or excuse me, on your calf, and you're gonna point and flex. Unfortunately, my running days are behind me because of this ankle, but I still vicariously live through my runner friends. I can still walk, I can still hike, I can still do things like that. I just can't run. That's okay. It sucks, actually, but I get by with it. Notice where this side is. And then hold it and release. All right, same thing. Bring some blood flow back into that area. Last thing we're gonna do with the bouncy ball. And guys, there's so much more that we could do. I just didn't wanna like totally bombard you in the first time. You're gonna take it and it's gonna go right down at the very base of your ankle, and you're just gonna slide back and forth. Now, this is where your Achilles comes in. The thing that I wanna say is that you're not pressing, okay? You're not pressing down. It's just this gentle roll side to side, all right? So you're only putting like 10, 15% of your weight onto it. If you put too much, you're not gonna hurt yourself. I mean, you could hurt yourself. You can always hurt yourself. You can hurt yourself doing anything. But it's just not what you wanna do. You don't wanna put too much pressure. All right, let's switch sides. And again, you're going 15, 20 seconds. Nothing major. And hopefully it feels nice. Let's release. Let's come to a seated position, and I just want you to take your toes and do little toe gymnastics. You're gonna split your toes back and forth, back and forth. So big toe, second toe. Second toe, third toe. It's like they're doing the splits, right? If you enjoyed this kind of work with your foot, there's another entire class on the channel here that will take you through stuff with just your own hands of massaging and releasing your foot. This one was all about the bouncy ball, but that video is super fantastic. I call it Happy Feet for a reason. Let's do last, fourth and fifth toe. And we do moves like this. Switch sides. Like I said, I feel like we just as people, we forget to work and stretch into our feet. We'll do quad stretches, hamstring stretches, but our feet, we just forget about them. Switch sides. So when I decided I wanted to do a bouncy ball series, it was like, yeah, why not? Third and fourth. And it's just going back and forth at your pace. Last ones. And then just take a hand and just sweep down your foot. Just bring all this blood into the bottom of your foot, that fascia, right? Let's do the other foot. And release. There you go, guys. I hope your feet feel amazing right now, and that you remember that all it takes is a little childhood toy and about 10 minutes of your time to give your feet some much needed relaxation and happiness in their days. Check out the other classes here on the channel, and as always, drop me a note on social if you want to chat and have questions. Until next time, guys, I'm Summer. Bye.